Good wonderful morning and welcome back to the channel. Tis I, Boss, and in today's video I'm going to attempt to work on chainsaws. It's going to be fun. Stay tuned. Okay, guys and gals, if you go back, and I'll put it here, whatever side. Did some work on this used saw I picked it up for 75 bucks. Replaced this part of the case and this part. New safety trigger. Was able to reuse original trigger, but you can see here some of the damage. This basically fell out of somebody's pickup. So picked it up, got it. It ran with a cracked case, but when I was futzing around reconnecting the trigger mechanism, I broke a little blue throttle linkage holder, maybe would be the best. Anyway, so I've been talking about these in the comments and brought it up in another video. This little kit right here, which I think are about $15. I got this one on Amazon. You could get them cheaper over on eBay possibly. I don't know. That's the little number that's on it. This fits a 455 supposedly, but let's open it up. I'll point you down here at the bench. We'll open it up and go through everything that's in it. I may just rob the blue part off of this brand new carburetor, or I may install it. I haven't decided. Stay tuned. Get you all a little closer here, maybe. Okay. Hope you can see half decent. So here's a little kit. Get out my little pocket knife here. And it comes all shrink wrapped. I can see right off the bat it has new lines. And a new air filter right here on the very top. And it's taped on. Go ahead and cut that tape off. Oh, we have brand new air filter. We have some gas line. Let's see what's in the box here. Okay. We have a new filter. Another new filter. Come on. New gaskets for our carburetor. An entire carburetor assembly. And that's the little blue part that I broke. I think it's meant to just cam off there, but I don't know. A very, I don't know, I guess that'd be Chinese writing spark plug. Sure, why not? And a new primer bulb, which that primer bulb does look like it's getting a little elderly. Let's lay out the whole kit here. And I just had the gaskets, the carb gaskets. I don't know where I set them. They couldn't have gone too far. I hadn't moved. I always play back the tape. Oh, the only thing I've done to the saw this morning is take the bar and chain off of it, just so I have room on this crowded bench. This is, we're in my garden shed today. Yeah, let's get a look at this little blue part. Does look like it just cam locks in there. Yeah. That's how you get that off. And what I did is put a zip tie. Well, I think it's holding too much throttle. Oh, there's the little gaskets right here in plain sight. We'll put them in with the carburetor. In fact, let's just put this little kit back in its little box here. Take parts as per needed. Set that in the back, top of the snap-on toolbox here. Alright, well I guess I better start by taking this cover off. I did pick up some T-handles. I've decided that I work on enough chainsaws that I should just break down and get a set. And those, I don't need a T-handle. They are a Phillips or a regular. Sure, why not? Now, if I remember where my screwdriver drawer was. That may work. Or not. Sure. That'll work. I'd kind of like to have a whole good sized, I don't know, maybe a 12-foot by 8-foot little barn built that was just a saw shop, had all my saw tools and everything all in one spot. That would be nice. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but sounds good on paper. Oh, there we go. I did give this a decent cleaning, and of course the air filter jumped right out immediately. The air filter's seen better days, so seems like the plug was half decent. Hope the light's in here good enough. See, I broke this little blue part and put a zip tie on there, zip strip, whatever you want to call them. I suppose we should probably remove that. I have some nippers out here, maybe. I have a small pair that I see. Or do I? I do not. Let's see if I can cut that with these. Or possibly my pocket knife. Sorry we couldn't do this outside today. It is rainy as all get out today. There's that guy cut. And I brought out my glasses. I really should probably wear those. They will help. I promise you they will help. My new glasses are finally supposed to be done the beginning of this coming week. And I don't think I've ever told the story, but I've been waiting almost 4 months for them. A lot of interesting things happen. So I suspect my little zip strip was holding this throttle too far forward. That's why I was getting such a fast idle on it. I could never adjust it out. So that was an issue. Next, it looks like I need an Allen to remove this little hood here, which has quite a bit of sawdust in it. So I will get to use my new Allens. Looks to be almost the right size. These are really nice for working on chainsaws. If you're gonna do a decent amount of work on saws, you may just want to go ahead and pick up a set of these. They're not super expensive. This is a made in the USA set that I picked up at Menards this weekend. and seems like they were $13 maybe. It's a brand I hadn't heard of. Eckline, something like that. This comes out nice, I hope. I've never worked on one of these. And that looks like it loosened that up. I am not a saw mechanic per se, guys and gals. I just play one on YouTube. I wonder if you're meant to disassemble this entire saw to work on this carburetor. One would hope not, but you know. One never knows. Sometimes you can get lucky and just stretch things just a little bit. To get things to work the way you want them to. This is the kill switch assembly I'm trying to dismantle now. Started off. Yeah, it's out of there. Kind of looks like I need to take this cover off the gas tank. I hope not. Hope I don't have to disassemble the entire saw. This might be a multi-part series of me teaching myself how to do this. May have to take all those covers off that I put on. Well, this thing's a godsend. Man, that makes working on stuff a lot easier. Hopefully I'm somewhat in frame too here. It'd also be nice to have a long set I could put in my little mini impact driver, my little Milwaukee Fuel. That'd be nice. Come on, Trigger. And of course, I don't want to lose any bolts. Leave him in there. Now, that's a solid part. May have to remove the pull start. I bet you I gotta disassemble this whole entire doggone thing. Maybe not. Better take this cover off. Already had all this apart. I've been kind of dreading this job, guys. because I struggled with it putting it back together last time. And to be honest, I'm not real used to struggling working on chainsaws. They're not super hard to work on as a normal rule. Leaking gas a little bit. This T-handle's helping immensely though. Trigger mechanism out. Ooh. There we go. Well, you can see the carb a lot better. Oh, I see. Got some more bolts there to remove. It's wrong size. This should be the right guy. Not super duty tight. We're going to take this much of this thing apart. May as well just replace every doggone thing, I reckon. Come out. Plug this wire and I can see a little bit better maybe. Oh, okay, these are your main carburetor bolts. So those are going to be holding stuff and things. She is dirty in here. She's a dirty old girl. Alright, something holding that black shroud in. Ooh. Okay, that just kind of came out. Alright, what's wrangling this? Looks like we got a gas line there. I picked up a tool, another must-have. If y'all are going to be working on chainsaws, get you a set of these. The old forceps. They were cheap. They're about $6. Might not be horrible to have multiple pairs of them, curvy and whatnot. Well, there's our carb. And I save all my old carbs, guys. Don't throw these away. You might need something out of them. This is a Walbro. No, they make a lot of different carbs. I'm sure the new one I have is not. You leaking? I'll probably go get a pan and dump this little bit of gas that's in here out. This is our primer bulb. I'll show you how to get these guys out. You can use a screwdriver and just kind of pull back softly and your hoses will come out. So there's two ears that hold your primer bulb on. You just squeeze them. I push one with my finger and one with the screwdriver. Of course, there's two lines on them, in and out. This guy pushes gasoline right into your carburetor for you. And it only had one line running to it. I think one line's, the other line's here on the carburetor. There's a little bit of dirt there in this intake. Right there. That may have fallen in there, more than likely. I know that these are just rubber, and I've heard tell of guys getting holes in them and can't get their saw to run properly. All right, let me go get a little pan, oil catch, and we'll dump out all this gasoline here. That's your choke that plugs into the carb. This little guy can go back together. I don't need to take him apart. That's just your kill switch. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Alright, here's my old oil catch pan. Yeah, I tightened that up. I wasn't fooling around. Whoops. This should have a hunk of plastic on it that keeps that from falling like it did. Just dump your gas out best we can. Set this aside. And I'll go into my waste oils, what I'll do with that. Oh, we spilled a good bit. I don't know how the heck we did that. Yeah, it's gas. You guys probably seen it in the video when I was dumping stuff out. All right. Oh, okay, that little bolt I took out, I should not have taken out. Yeah, you live and you learn. Hopefully I can find what it screws into, but we've got, oh no. Yeah, you are meant to take that out. It's outside the tank. If you can all see me poking them through there. So what I'm doing is wrangling the hose. There we go. And that is our old filter. Got a new one for that, of course. There should be one more in there, I think. Unless they gave us two for two different models. That's completely possible. These just unplug. Like so. You can not replace your fuel line. This one I'm going to. So we have to decide which way we want to take our fuel line out. We can pull it out from the tank or from up above here. But there's a little bit of sawdust around these connections that I don't really want down in my fuel tank, if I can help it. Give that a light little scrape. And we'll let those pieces fall out. See which way it wants to pull. Oh, and that hose is filthy. I don't want dirt in that tank if we can help it. I think we can take this stuff off too. Might not be a horrible idea to take the intakes off. I'm pretty sure I've got a gasket for it, so. Did I mention I'm not a saw mechanic? Do this at your own risk. Don't use this as a tutorial. Use it for a entertainment value. Is that it? Nope. Thought there was another bolt. Looks like 3 bolts holding this on. Ooh, that one was tight. Woo! Pretty sure this is where they came up with the term X-Torque. If you look at this intake, I'll show it to you all here. Another little line coming through there. There we go, we got him off. Looks like an X. May not have an intake for that. This is the engine side. Looks like a face. Move him right there. We're gonna clean up all these parts. Yeah, looks like a face on the other side too. Alright. That's our primer bulb return. I'm pretty sure that's got a doggone guy on the bottom of it too, filter. Thought it did anyway. I may have to grab a flashlight so I can see in this tank properly. There we go. It's our main line. We're going to want to keep that. Don't chuck it right away. Got a little more dirt junk in here. I got a trick for putting these back in, fellers, gals, guys, peoples. I'm just getting the sawdust and grease and dirt away from my lines. So I don't want that down the tank if I can help it. There we go, it broke. And this guy came off, finally. Good, he was in my way. That's that little line that I was telling you I had to unplug off of the intake. So our line broke right off. I'm just going to shove that down. It was leaking slightly around there. There we go. Now it's in the tank. Oops. Sorry, I'm big heading you. You can't see anything. This is the guy that broke off the gas cap. Need that in there. I don't have a new gas cap for it, so. And there should be a piece of line in there. See if I can tip it around and see if I can get it to fall out. Getting some more fuel out of it. Well, perhaps a flashlight would do me some good. I got one in my truck. I'll just walk over and get. Let me leave my glasses here. Okay. Got my flashlight. There it is. I see my line. Get my little grabbers here. There we go. That was a little culprit that broke off the return line. All right. Well, I suppose we will start by reassembling our fuel line. We'll do black first. Looks like they gave us a pretty good amount, which is handy. See if they're similar length. Gave us about another 6 inches of the black. Now, don't measure this and cut this right now. I'm going to show you a hack. This line is a different size than the clear-ish yellow line. What you're going to do is take a sharp knife. I don't know if this one's sharp enough. And we're going to put a cut on it like a saw. Cut a good 45, 90, yeah, probably closer to a 90 degree on it. So this back hole, I don't know if y'all can see it. This back hole here is the one we want to put this line in. Just flicking away a little bit more dirt. this can be tricky. Sometimes you can use a little bit of grease on it. Isn't horrible. I got a tube right here. A couple tubes actually. I'm just gonna get a dab on my finger. That's plenty. If you didn't have any grease, some Vaseline would work. Anything a little slippery. And it won't hurt your gas. A tiny little bit of grease that you're putting in there will break down in your gasoline and be just fine. I'm going to do the bottom, I don't know, 6-8 inches. And we're going to start in the hole here on the top. No, you guys probably can't see this fantastically. I'm not set up camera wise or camera gear wise to shoot mechanical videos, I guess. It is started, and I'm just using those forceps and grabbing like a 1/2 inch at a time and just pushing it down. Okay, she's sliding really nice now. And this return line off the primer bulb did not have a filter on the end of it, so apparently that line just gets shoved down in there. Now, after you've moved it several inches, and we have done, I can reach in and grab it with these fellas, because you want it outside the tank. And I'm just softly pulling and softly pushing. And that is plenty. Okay? Take your sharp knife, and I am going to cut about 1 inch off of it. Will be plenty. Here you can see the angle that I used in my cutoff. Now I'm going to take some clean paper towel and just wipe my fingers off a little bit before I start handling this filter, tank filter. There he is. Give myself just a pinch more. Beautiful. And you're simply going to add him on, but he looks to be like for a bigger line, which is bizarre. Yeah, there's the old one, there's the new one. Let's check this. Well, we'll put the little guy on there. If he doesn't work, it's not that big of a deal. I do have this other style over yonder in the other shop. Pull a little more. Now, you can take a heat gun if you need to and soften this up just a little bit. I'm hoping we're not in that ballpark of realm of possibility. Oh, we'll move on to my next, pardon me, my next trick. And again, I'm just grabbing a tiny dab of grease. That's really too much. Just a tiny dab, and we'll put a little slip-ins on there. Now, why are we replacing this carburetor? Why not buy a Husqvarna rebuild kit? Well, I'll tell you, the main reason is a Husqvarna rebuild kit is way more money than just buying this Chinese carburetor and putting on. Way more money than that. Grab my guys here. Give me a little more purchase on the line. Now what I'm doing is twisting and pushing down at the same time. And that is installed plenty. We don't need that much. We're going to pull some slack out. However, don't leave this too short. It has to lay on its side down inside there. Otherwise, you turn your saw 90 degrees to cut down a tree, it's not going to pick up any fuel. Well, there we go. And we have enough of this to do another, I don't know, replacement on another hose. Easy peasy. All right, so the next line, we're going to rinse and repeat. Going to cut a good 90-degree angle on it. Both my little cutoffs. This little bit of dab of grease I put down here on the edge of my workbench is going to work just fine for lubing this little bit of line up. And again, I would not worry about contaminating my gasoline. I don't think there's enough grease on there to contaminate anything. And again, get these to unlock. There we go. I'm just going to softly push her down. Oh, that went in way too easy. This thing's going to leak like a sieve. Interesting. Okay, that is what I like to call no good. Yeah, that went in way too easy. It's going to leak. So I'm wondering if we don't use some of this black line, because we have plenty anyway. We can save that for another project. Worst case scenario is I'll have to go down and buy some line, but I don't think that's where we're at. So what I'm going to do is make an educated guess on where this line is long enough and use the rest for my return line for my primer bulb. Again, we'll put the old 9-degree chopper on her. Yeah, that went in way too easy. It would leak. There's a little there's a little round seal, like a rubber seal, where these push through the top of the gas tank. And a grommet, that's the word I was looking for. And it went in way too easy. Of course, we have a little bend in it. Let's use our friends, the clipper guys here, clamper guys. About a 1/2 inch is about all the tensile strength these guys have. There, she started. This does not have to be super far down in there. I'm going to give it 2 or 3 inches. And it's fitting nice and snug, so it should. It should be plenty good. Ah, yeah, that's plenty. It's about 1 inch off the floor of the gas tank. And that's going to come across to there. And I'm not going to cut that currently. So new lines installed, one filter installed. We should be good. Let's look at the order of putting this back together. Clean my fingers off a little bit. I think that's not ready. I think I'll take some carburetor cleaner and clean this guy up. Give him a little bath. I have some in here? I do. So we're going to clean that up. Set this aside. Bring over our little waste pan. Yep, carbon choke cleaner. I had thought about cleaning out that entire little compartment right there. Just so we don't get any dirt someplace we don't want it. I have a fairly clean paper towel here to set this on. Beautiful. Woo! Fumes are getting good in here. I think I put a new plug in this already, so I'm probably not going to use that Chinese spark plug. Okay, I'm going to hang my forceps off this new hose just to give it some weight to hold it out of the way. And just barely clamp it there. That's perfect. And I'm going to start those screws in there. That gasket is fine. Whoops. And of course I dropped a screw. Tip it over to double check the gaskets were fine. They are. Clean. Okay, there. I'm going to turn this for myself. To start the screw bolt, I guess. Don't tighten your bolts all the way. Leave them a little loose until you get them all started. Trust me, I've learned from experience. There we go. Beautiful. Sorry, I just bumped into you guys. This one I can start off the wrench, hex driver, whatever you want to call it. Probably should have swapped out those gaskets before I reinstalled this. Hopefully that ain't a mistake. Find out. I'm just going to torque them up half decent. They were decently torqued before. Okay, one more to go. Okay, beautiful. Alright. See if we can flick that right out of there. Oh no. Okay. That's rubber. No gasket on that. This one, no gasket on him. They must go on with the carburetor, so guess I didn't make a mistake. Let's go ahead and install our new primer bulb. And that should just push and pop right in. Hopefully. If we're living right. Come on, little fella. There. Pushes and pops in. We got plenty enough line to go tie in. I'm still not going to cut that until I have everything measured, everything installed. Okay. This is our new carburetor. I'm just going to take a double, triple look at this guy. It is orientated wrong. There we go. Everything looks like she'll line right up. I do think I need to install the linkage on this guy before. That was my problem with the last install, I guess. It goes in this direction. Oh, let's plug this little line in before we forget about it. It's wide open right now. Oh. Alright, we're started. Alright, that's it. This is going to be a little battle, a battle royale. You know, this old carburetor, that's why you like to look at things, I guess. This old carburetor does not have any gaskets on it. So I wonder if they are needed or not needed. Because this is all soft rubber. Especially down there. Let me double make sure that there isn't a gasket on there. Oh, see, that's soft rubber. It's not, it's solid. There's no separation there. I wonder if they're not needed. This one's a little harder material up here. Well, enough wine in here. Enough whining. Well, that's kind of set in where it ought to live. I wonder if the gaskets go on this side and meet up with this guy. I do not know. But this is hard. That stuff's all soft. Should go on the hard side, I would think. Bolts are a little sawdusty. Give them a little spray here. Okay. Let's see where these guys used to live. Right through here. Okay. And again, I'll give this guy a little spray over my bucket. Man, what a rainy, crappy day I have going on here in Southwest Michigan. Now, wait a minute. This guy, I think, has to go on. No. I don't think them bolts go on. Yeah, this gets bolted on with these bolts. So, glad I saw that. We don't have time to do things right, but we have time to do them over. Thing I'm kind of paying attention. And this guy snaps in, kind of, sort of. Gotta get creative with my light source here. Don't want it. I have a fairly clean paper towel here to set this on. Beautiful. Woo! Fumes are getting good in here. I think I put a new plug in this already, so I'm probably not going to use that Chinese spark plug. Okay, I'm going to hang my forceps off this new hose just to give it some weight to hold it out of the way. And just barely clamp it there. That's perfect. And I'm going to start those screws in there. That gasket is fine. Whoops. And of course I dropped a screw. tip it over to double check the gaskets were fine. They are. Clean. Okay, there. I'm going to turn this for myself. To start the screw bolt, I guess. Don't tighten your bolts all the way. Leave them a little loose until you get them all started. Trust me, I've learned from experience. There we go. Beautiful. Sorry, I just bumped into you guys. This one I can start off the wrench, hex driver, whatever you want to call it. Probably should have swapped out those gaskets before I reinstalled this. Hopefully that ain't a mistake. Find out. I'm just going to torque them up half decent. They were decently torqued before. Okay, one more to go. Okay, beautiful. Alright. See if we can flick that right out of there. Oh no. Okay. That's rubber. No gasket on that. This one, no gasket on him. They must go on with the carburetor, so guess I didn't make a mistake. Let's go ahead and install our new primer bulb. And that should just push and pop right in. Hopefully. If we're living right. Come on, little fella. There. Pushes and pops in. We got plenty enough line to go tie in. I'm still not going to cut that until I have everything measured, or everything installed. Okay. This is our new carburetor. I'm just going to take a double, triple look at this guy. It is orientated wrong. There we go. Everything looks like she'll line right up. I do think I need to install the linkage on this guy before. That was my problem with the last install, I guess. It goes in this direction. Oh, let's plug this little line in before we forget about it. It's wide open right now. Oh. Alright, we're started. Alright, that's it. This is going to be a little battle, a battle royale. You know, this old carburetor, that's why you like to look at things, I guess. This old carburetor does not have any gaskets on it. So I wonder if they are needed or not needed. Because this is all soft rubber. Especially down there. Let me double make sure that there isn't a gasket on there. Oh, see, that's soft rubber. It's not, it's solid. There's no separation there. I wonder if they're not needed. This one's a little harder material up here. Well, enough wine in here. Enough whining. Well, that's kind of set in where it should ought to live. I wonder if the gaskets go on this side and meet up with this guy. I do not know. But this is hard. That stuff's all soft. Should go on the hard side, I would think. Bolts are a little sawdusty. Give them a little spray here. Okay. Let's see where these guys used to live. Right through here. Okay. And again, I'll give this guy a little spray over my bucket. Man, what a rainy, crappy day I have going on here in Southwest Michigan. Now, wait a minute. This guy, I think, has to go on. No. I don't think them bolts go on. Yeah, this gets bolted on with these bolts. So, glad I saw that. We don't have time to do things right, but we have time to do them over. Thing I'm kind of paying attention. And this guy snaps in, kind of, sort of. Get creative with my light source here. I think I got it without. It has a little rubber mount here on both sides. Okay, get everything lined up. There it is. Beautiful. Hey, I'd rather be lucky than good. I ain't never said I'm good at this. Come on. Just gave it a little wiggle there. She started. Put this guy in. Decent torque. Now I ended up not putting any gaskets on. It didn't have any when I took it off. Why would it need some when I put it back together? That's it. Kill switch is working. Got to get hooked back up. Choke needs to get plugged in, I'm sure. Hopefully I can still do that. I forgot about that. And saved by my telephone. And somebody I don't know, so tech with them. So this has a pretty significant hole down here, and what I've done is set it over top, and I should be able to push it in with a screwdriver if I'm living correctly. And apparently I was, because I definitely moved it. And it is in like Flynn. Beautiful. That is new carburetor installed. That line's plugged in. Need the main fuel line goes down there. I see him. Probably trim this just a little bit. Shorten them up. And we'll grab this guy. Grab my flashlight so I can see. Push him on. Make sure he's on all the way. And yes, he's on there beautifully. Okay. Next we need this guy and a short guy there. Wonder how that's going to fit. Not bad. Not bad. I think this black line was meant to be used here. Holy freaking grizzly bear. And we need a short line there. him right here. Beautiful. And we need a short line from there. There. Give him just a hair more. Be nice if I had some cutters out here. Excuse me if that came out. That's on. Probably a little bit long. Trim that a little bit. Do I not have any scissors out here? Snaps. These have snaps. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain falling on the roof or not. Trim him again. Take one by hand, I think. There we go. So that catches me up to where I started this, in the sense of now, it's time to put the cover back on. Guess we better put the electronics, the kill switch back up. After that, we're pretty good. And where'd you plug in at? And then get the flashlight out. Where did you go? Nah, good enough. Ah, I see your little hiding place. So the shape of this, there's actually a cutout in the plastic the same shape. That's where he lives, apparently. Get him in there. That's the ticket. Use my screwdriver to make sure he's seated. Feels seated. Oh man, alive. Oh, we have some top screws to put in here. We'll hang on to those little gaskets. I may be taking this all back apart. To put in gaskets. I don't know if that's the right. Yeah, that would be the right bolt. I don't think these have to be tightened deadly. Okay. Let's see, get that line hooked up, that line, filters on, electricals hooked back up, those bolts, everything should be golden. Where I ran into trouble last time is with this crazy contraption. Never thought of this should be taken out and beaten with a stick, quite literally. Good heavens, what a menagerie. So this is your trigger assembly for this, your throttle, and it hooks in someplace, I don't even know where. I better study on it. It's got to be in a push situation like that. Oh, lost a piece of my hose onto the floor. All this top does is let air down into the carburetor. It's a really interesting design, or more like a reburn of some variety. I don't know. I don't fully understand it. Might be the choke mechanism too. I don't know. I got a cipher on this for a few minutes. And I set my trigger down. Don't see it. Of course. There it is. Trying to see where it originally hooked up. Okay, let me show you what all we had go wrong. So the bolts for this handle all of a sudden acted very, very stripped. This one seems to be okay. This one, I thought, you know, I'm just going to put this hose clamp on it. That seems to be working. And this top one was incredibly stripped. It was ugly. So I tried to get that bolt. I pushed on it, you know, to try to catch some good threads and could not get anything happening. So finally I just took my little drill, drilled right on through it and just ran a small bolt and a nut and lock washer. We'll see how that works, but to me that's a better design anyway. That's catching everything, you know, that's holding nice and tight. Well, I got you spun this way, and I'll throw a little more light on it. And let me get a pointer here. So the linkage kept pushing on this blue thing that I broke in the original video where I was trying to replace these handle parts in this trigger part. So what I've done is went ahead and put a small cable tie, zip strip, whatever you want to call it, around it. It seems to be working fantastic. The only other thing I've had to do was turn the idle down on the carburetor. I won't mess with the high and low jet at all until I get it into some wood, and I think it's going to be fine. It acts just fine on the bench. Final assembly, I need to put on the air cleaner and the top cover, put the bar and chain and cover back on, and it's done, ready to go to work. So I wouldn't be surprised next time we can get into the woods after this rain all quits. I wouldn't be surprised to see the saw running. I'm very curious about it. It is approximately 5 cc's bigger than the 545. So this is supposed to be a 55 cc saw. They're both X-Torx engines and carbs. Yeah, I guess I'm just curious about it. Let me fire it up for a minute. We'll go ahead and wrap up the video. It's kind of warm. I don't think I'm going to need the choke. Let me spin you a little here and tilt you back a little. There we go. Not a ton of room in this shed. This shed is just pure storage. It ain't meant to work out of. So, it does have a compression release. I'll hit that. And it is getting my bench all nice and oily. And there's fly from somewhere. Alright. Come on, you cheeky bugger. Come on. Should just slide on. Of course it don't want to. It's supposed to. They told me it did. The old one did. Well, that's not fitting overly kosher. Maybe we got to run this old guy. Clean him up and run him. If I put it on the right way, could make a difference. Yeah, see, he fits better. He goes right on. So, not sure about that. Overall, I like the quality. I'm going to use a little carb cleaner of the kit. seems to be fine. I don't know a brand. It may not even have said a brand. Oh, good. Yeah, my carb cleaner is just spraying by itself. That's convenient. Now, this will have several days probably to set and dry, so I'm not going to worry about putting it on wet. If I was in a hurry for the saw, I would set it out in the sun for half an hour or something. But that's it, guys and gals. We're going to put the top cover on it, put the bar and chain on it, and call this one ready to work. Oop, there's a potential problem. It might be hitting a little bit right there. I don't think it's going to bother anything. About to find out. Yeah, it's clear. If it wasn't broke there, it might not clear it. And what a fella could do is turn that bolt around the other way, maybe, or put in a shorter one, or any number of different things. Sorry the battery cut out, and y'all didn't get to see every dirty step of it. I did bend that linkage just a little bit where it makes a shepherd's crook on the end. I pinched it together just a little bit. It is spring hardened steel, so it don't like to bend, but I put pliers on it and just bent it together just a tiny bit. But that's it, fellers. We're gonna run it in the woods and see how we do. All right, let's end off this video. All right, guys and gals, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I hope you learned a little something. Like I said, I am not a saw mechanic. I work on my own, and I work on Donnie's saws for them. And although I'm not an expert, I can usually muddle and figure my way through it and get a saw that runs decent at the end. By the way, on Full Throttle, the reason why that was balking and bogging is because the saw wasn't super hot. I could have warmed it up a good bit and gotten better performance out of it. Yeah, if you have comments, questions, put them down below. I'll put a link to the first time I worked on this saw. I think there's a video anyway. Let me double check that wherever. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Hit all the buttons on your way out the door. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again soon. Boss is out. Bye.